Flux is an operating system that lets developers interact with the Flux distributed computer network, Flux nodes. Flux nodes provide useful resources for developers to launch decentralized applications. There are 3 tiers of Flux nodes, which are laddered based on system requirements and collateral of Flux. In return for providing computational power, Flux node operators are rewarded a portion of the Flux network block reward. Flux acts as the master coordinator for launching applications and managing the resources of each Flux node to balance usage. Due to Flux's decentralized nature, applications are accessible at all times and at all locations with no single point of failure. Flux is used as the payment model for developers and users to buy computational resources on the Flux network. Want to run your application on Flux? If you can Dockerize it, you can put it on Flux. Simple, scalable, and affordable. Flux, the gateway to a decentralized world. Visit runonflux.io for more information.
Here we are. We're live, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, guys.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
It is a monumentous day today. Massive, bigly, hugely. It's as big as it gets, guys. And every one of you that are on here right now are a big part of the puzzle that brought us all together today. So, I think really what we want to do is we want to start talking about Titan. So we'll start off by then. And then what we'll do is we'll keep the AMA open and we'll start answering questions too as they come in. So, guys, let's do an intro real quick. Just in case somebody meanders in here that doesn't know who we are, I am Dan Keller. I am the co-founder and chief strategy officer for Flux and Zelcore.
Awesome. I'm Jeremy Anderson, currently the CTO of Flux. Glad to be here.
Mr. Anderson.
Hey, I'm Davey. I'm part of the Flux business team, business development team actually, and part of Titan.
Hey guys, Ali Malik here. I think that's the first time you're seeing me on the camera.
I think it is.
I was
Ollie.
gonna
Like,
say, like,
First time, right?
totally freaked me out. I was like, who the hell's on here? Oh, it's Ollie.
Hey, so I'm part of the business development here at Flux. So nice to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have all you guys today. So we're gonna switch this up. Normally, it's our AMAs are like 95% of me bloviating and answering questions and going on my old man Dan rants. But we're gonna do this AMA a lot different. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let Jeremy and Davey run this show, and Ollie and I are gonna kick back and we're gonna give input where needed. So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. I guess we can start with Titan, right? So Titan beta released today. We're super excited about it. We're seeing a lot of traffic come through already. Bear in mind, things might be a little slower. It's beta. We're just getting spun up. We're allocating resources and getting nodes ready to go as deposits start coming in. It's a super exciting day. I have to give thanks to the development team that worked so vigilantly on Titan, getting it ready for today. We went through a complete alpha cycle internally, testing 3 different times, spun up 3 different alpha scenarios, and we finally think that this is a solid product for beta. So thank you to the development team. Thank you to the security team. Thank you to everyone that's supporting Titan. I don't want to make sure that they are not forgotten. The Flux team is just amazing, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it. So much appreciated.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Jeremy, and you as well. You have really stepped up and got all of us together. Davey, you guys were really leading this. Big shout out to Greg as well, and J Riggs and everybody that has been participating with this, because this is actually one of, and I can honestly say this for the very first time that I've been working with Flux, I was hands off. I just came in the 11th hour, and I steal all the glory. Like, I get to ask the questions, and then we do this, or we do this. Okay, yeah. But you guys really have it. It was yeoman's work to get where we are. So good work on all our, and big shout out to Jeremy for his leadership in that as well.
Oh no, the team was awesome. So thanks to the team that I could support, and just happy to be here today.
All right.
So let's start off by I'm going to ask you guys questions. That's the best way to do this. So let's start off by explaining what Titan is and why it's so important.
Sure, I can take that one. So Titan is a Flux service that allows people that want to participate and support the Flux network by we run Flux nodes. They can deposit their Flux in our secure addresses, and we will use that Flux as collateral to spin up additional Flux nodes on the network. They don't just deposit it though; they are receiving part of the Flux rewards based on the amount of Flux that they deposit in the lockup period that they choose. But in simple terms, you send your Flux to our secure address system. We will spin up Flux nodes using that collateral, and you'll receive a reward in Flux for that. That's as simple as it gets, really.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things I want to highlight too is, because people asked about, because this is a big part of the project. We put a lot of resources on this, and I think the important thing that we want to point out is, why did we build Titan? So, we built Titan specifically because we saw an issue really with Ethereum is where it started. So, you have large exchanges that are going to have 60 to 70% of staking power on their new proof of stake model. So, all these folks that are centralized entities, they're going to be the ones that are basically controlling the consensus mechanism. So that scared the shit out of us, because we knew ultimately we were going to be the next in line, or one of the next in line to iterate once they moved to proof of stake. So the way that we figured it is we already saw the writing on the wall. We saw large exchanges that were already looking at staking-based programs, and they were going to gobble up a bunch of Flux because they now have the ability to basically use the Flux. They're saying it's staked on their exchange, but they're not. They're using it for other, market making, passive market making, things like that. So our goal was to take an old technology that was defunct, right? The old shared node concept, and say, how can we take this shared node concept, which, by the way, it was a great idea, except for the fact it was completely centralized. You know what I mean? You had one guy everybody had to send their funds to, and then you had to hope like hell that he didn't come back one day and be like, I got hacked, bro, and, it's all gone. And then, and we saw that many times, in the early days of Flux back when it was Zell. So I approached the team. I said, we have a problem. We want to really focus on decentralization. We want to make sure that we're not letting large exchanges be the curators of Flux. We want that in the hands of the folks in the community, and that's how Titan was born. So, we're really excited to see how this continues to develop out. The other big reason we developed Titan was we want to make sure we're as encompassing to the entire community as humanly possible so that everybody can participate. And that's what we coined the term, proof of useful staking, because really staking today, the way it's conceptually done, is you're just locking your asset up for a promised return. Somebody else is using that asset to either make money on or loan out.
Leveraging against it, something.
So the best thing is to keep it in the hands of the people who are going to support the project. So Titan nodes are different than any other staking model, because once you've staked into Titan, you are now helping the network, because those nodes are going to be able to, those Titan nodes are going to be just like every other node in the sense that they can take, projects and run on top of it. So it keeps it more decentralized. So, there was a lot of different pieces that went into this. And, a lot of people said we spent a lot of time on Titan, and we did spend a lot of time on Titan. And why? Because it was important that we did it. And I think it puts us in a better position moving forward. As we get larger institutional investors coming in, we get folks that are going to naturally, as the project continues to garner attention, you're going to get big players in the space. But now we don't have to worry about some of the big players in the space taking large positions and cutting out the little guy. You know what I mean? It makes more sense for that to happen. So
exactly.
I didn't want to jump on top of that, Jeremy, but I think that's a good point that I wanted to share.
No, I love it. Thank you so much. What's next? What do we want to know? What do we want to talk about with Titan? Do we hit all the
just show it?
Sure. Should we show it?
Read on the video first that Goose has out there, just for the people to get an idea about it, and then we can come back. Or
let's do that. Let's run
Okay.
Goose's video. We'll come back, and then we'll do the demo. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about, we'll take AMA questions, and we'll talk about next phases too.
Love it.
Okay, there we go.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for checking out my video. It's Goose coming at you with a quick little update on what's happening with Project Titan. Okay, welcome back. Now, you're probably already familiar with the way in which Flux is pioneering the development of Web 3.0 and the decentralized cloud infrastructure that we have called the Flux network is running anything from web servers to game servers to apps, dApps, you name it. If you could put it on Docker, you can put it on Flux. And one of the ways in which the team sought to grow that network was the node halvening, which took place a few months ago. And since then, we've seen the number of nodes on the network nearly quadruple to over 12,000 nodes. So this is pure computational power that's being provided for developers. So anybody can run an app on the Flux network, and it's one of those things that is going to continue growing, and the team is always looking for ways that we can find that kind of growth or inspire that kind of growth. So what we're looking at right now is Project Titan. Now, let's say you're not really into creating a node yourself or going through the process of renting a VPS and installing all the software and all that. Maybe you don't want to do that. Is there another option? Yes. Project Titan, which is going to be launching in its beta phase very soon, is going to make it possible for people to stake a certain amount of Flux and then earn a certain percentage back for the amount that they stake. You'll be able to stake as little as 50 Flux or as much as 10,000 Flux. So this is a pretty cool opportunity for those who are really not that technical savvy, but want to just earn a little extra Flux. And the beauty of this is that the collateral that is collected from this process will be used to spin up more nodes. So we're continuing to grow the network while everybody is earning a little bit more Flux. So let's take a closer look at the beta in action. Here you can choose between 50 and 10,000 Flux for your stake amount. And then you can choose to auto reinvest this stake after it expires. You can also choose how long you want your lockup period to be. Right now in the beta test, it's only 1 or 2 weeks. Notice that the longer you stake, the higher your APR will be. To sign your stake with Zelcore, we'll use Zel ID. And what this does is automatically logs you in and connects you to this transaction. And then you would register your stake with Titan. Once that registration's been received, you'll need to send your funds, and an address will be provided here with the amount that you're supposed to send. You can also use Zel ID to pay with Zelcore. And right here, it is just waiting to receive your payment. Once the payment is received, it'll need 30 confirmations. You can see we've got now 1 out of 30, and that'll take roughly 1 hour. Once confirmed, we'll receive the green check mark and we'll start immediately earning rewards. And that's a sneak peek of Project Titan beta in action. Let me know what you think about this feature down in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ding the bell. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.
Awesome. Goose always does such a good job, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's very straightforward. But I think what I'd really like to see is you know, let's do a demo of Titan and show how it's going.
Love demoing live. Let's go.
Sure. Sorry about the backlight there. Hi, say hi to the folks. I don't know if you can see him. Little puppy. All right. Welcome to the demo. So I just logged into the home.runonflux.io, went to the marketplace, went to shared notes, and then here you can see the dashboard of Titan. As you can see, I haven't staked anything yet. So let's stake some Flux, shall we? Just like in the video, you select the amount of Flux you want to stake. I'll stick to 50 for now. Pick your duration. You can pick 3 durations. There's a 3-month, a 6-month, and a 12-month. Each have their own APR percentage to it. Of course, the longer you stake, the more interesting it is. But if you do choose a shorter period, you can auto reinvest that stake after the expiry. Any rewards you've collected at that point will be re-added to your staking total, and basically you'll increase your stake going forward. So we're going to stick with 3 months for now. And at this point, I need to sign in with my Zelcore. We put in the PIN code. Make sure you have a strong code. You can close it. Or it doesn't work. Did I not do it? There you go. I didn't do it proper. Click next. And then really important to know. So your funds will be locked. There is no way for the team to get your funds out. So once you lock them, they're locked. That is really important to know, guys. It'll tell you exactly when the funds will be available to you. So 19th of October, I'll be able to redeem my Flux and my rewards that I've collected. Now I did select auto restake, so it'll be auto restaking on the 19th of October. So I'm going to register this. You can see here that it has been registered. We go to the next step, and this is a point where I will send in my Flux to this particular address. And you have to make sure that this particular message is in your payment. If it's not there, it is hard for us to tell we know who it's sending from, but it's hard for us to tell what stake this belongs to. And so when that happens, you'll see a available Flux here appear, because you'll be able to redeem it and redo it again. Now, do keep in mind, that's not ideal. You want to just make sure you just do it straight with the Zelle ID. So you can just do it, proceed to pay. Let's do that again. I hate how it does that sometimes, but it is what it is. Okay, I'll do it manually.
Sometimes with two-factor, it can be a little finicky.
I know why it is doing it. It's because I just logged in proper. And I'm using in private as well. Just to do it manually. It's actually a good exercise.
Yeah.
Make sure you copy the message.
Yeah.
And put it in proper. So the message goes in the note. I did a 50 stake, not 500, 50, and sent. There you go. So now in the Explorer, you'll notice that your stake has been sent. In here, we'll now see the red circle where it's basically waiting for your validation of the stake to arrive. And as soon as it's the block is found on the chain, this will turn into a gray circle with a 30 behind it. That's basically 30 confirmations that we'll be waiting for. After those 30 confirmations are done, you are fully staking and you're ready for rewards to be received. Now notice that everything was done via the Zelcore wallet. We don't have any other login mechanism. There's no user password or email that has been used. It's all done with your Zelle ID. So it is really important to make sure you use of course, a very safe wallet and use a proper user and password on your Zelcore wallet. But everything is tied to your Zelle ID. And as you can see, my staking total is now 50. As soon as my confirmations are fully done, you will notice my 50 will be added to the total staking account of 83,000 already, which is amazing because we only started a few hours back. And keep in mind
Oh, did we lose him?
He is frozen.
Oh, I thought he's still thinking about it.
Keep in mind,
That's
the internet
a
might go down.
long thought
Yeah.
process there, buddy.
Oh yeah, I think we lost him. Okay.
That's okay. So I'll just leave off. So when that confirmation comes through, we're going to start seeing updates based on how many blocks have gone through. You need 30 confirmations to be considered valid to earn rewards. So like in Goose's video, that should take about an hour, depending on how fast blocks are coming in, at an average of about a block per 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So this is pretty awesome. So I see some. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cherry pick some questions. One I'm going to address right out of the hole is somebody asked about the multi-sig and who basically holds the access. The multi-sig address is held by the core team. So we have basically an internal process that we put together to make sure that no one in particular person can do anything. It's a very well developed plan, and I also want to note as well. This is an iterative process, so our end goal is to get beyond to where there's any multi-sig involved, and it's all basically on chain. It's happening on chain in real time. But that's not going to happen for a while. And so, technology like this, disruptive technology, is iterative. So there's nobody else out there doing what we're doing right now because we took we basically looked at the project. We figured out a way to allow people to participate. I mean, the alternative is you could go to a centralized exchange where you're trusting the centralized exchange is actually, securing your assets. I know for a fact because the team's put together, a very integral plan of how these particular multi-sigs work and function. So, I'm not. It's an iterative process, guys. So I'm not going to tell you not to go to an exchange and stake if that's what you want to do, and that's what do that to your heart's content. But again, this is iterative, and our ultimate goal is to always get to the point where everything is completely decentralized. And there is a limitation to the number of nodes. Keep in mind, this is beta. This isn't our final release candidate. This is our first iteration of Titan. This is our beta. I think our Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, we're targeting 9 nodes, basically a week until we believe we have the cap of where we want to run for a while, and then we'll go from there. So
for beta, we're just going to be slowly onboarding. You might, if people have already invested, you might have noticed that we're only allowing 10,000 Flux to come in per user. We did this on purpose so that we don't get tons and tons of Flux coming in that we just can't spin up nodes fast enough. We want to be honest with the community. We want people to earn Flux correctly. So for beta, we're slowing things down a bit. We want to make sure that the live release, to everyone is working, that there's no problems. If there are little problems, we want to get those fixed before we start opening it up to everyone. Currently, things are running very well, very smooth. Our internal target is to spin up hopefully 9 more nodes in the first week, and then hopefully open it up beefier and beefier through that as we see the capacity coming through and people wanting to invest more.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to point out too is that this is not for everyone. If you're what I mean, running a node yourself is always the most lucrative and beneficial way to participate in the network, and highly recommended too, because somebody chatted at us in the chat, not your keys, not your crypto, and they're completely right when they say that. This is a beta. This is our first iteration of many that will come for Titan. And we want to make sure that we put the technology where our mouth is. So we're going to continue to keep iterating to build it out in a more decentralized nature. And as far as one of the other questions was asked about the APY, how is that? Is it a fixed APY? They don't want to see another anchor protocol. That's just idiotic to even say that. We're not even. You can't compare a staking liquidity pool, and what Anchor was doing to what we're doing. We're literally building these nodes out and deploying them as proof of useful staking. So
if you actually go to the Titan Shared Nodes app and hover over the APY, it details you in the math. It shows you how it's calculated. Yep. It's very easy to understand. There's no oracle that we're reaching out to. Nothing to get hacked on that perspective. And to readdress the person that said not your keys, not your crypto, totally agree with you. That is why we have put extra work into making this a secured address verification system where you are sending and depositing your Flux. Not one person's ever in control of that. For the last years, I bet everyone's seen things in the DeFi space where there's rug pulls and there's hacks because one key got taken, stuff like that. That is why we are very strict on how we're running things here. We're very open. We try to answer as many questions as we can to the community. And like I said before, you can even go and look on chain at the addresses and decode like what it would take to move those funds, and it's not easy. So, yeah.
And I think it's there's a lot of negativity that's popping up in the chat, and I just don't I don't see it. Centralized exchanges are not what we want, and your assets are being held on a centralized exchange and being utilized, and are the funds there, you can easily see the nodes are online, and they are absolutely there. So, there's a hell of a difference between this. And if you don't understand the difference between what Titan is and exchange is, then you probably shouldn't be investing in crypto to begin with.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest.
No, and if you want, go and run your own Flux node. Like, this is not the only option. This is an option for the people that want to stake their Flux or invest their Flux in a platform, and they don't, like Goose said, they don't want to go build a VPS and learn and how to access servers through the terminal. This is the other option. Again, we're not forcing anybody to do it. So if you want to go run your own node, please do. We would prefer that. Like, go and do it. First of all, you'll make more, and you're going to be supporting the network just the same as Titan is. So we're all for that, 100%.
Yep. Yeah. The other comment that keeps popping up is that the Stratus rewards will go to dust, and that's just not true. And as a matter of fact, we've baked into Titan a portion of the rewards that are come back from Titan actually goes back to those Stratus node holders. So, our ultimate goal, and Jeremy, you could probably explain this a little bit better, or Davey, what the mathematics are behind that. But essentially, as more nodes come online, a particular portion of that node reward is going to actually go back to our miners, and and to incentivize miners to start with, and then our node holders are going to be incentivized at a higher rate with other labs-based projects as well. So in the end, it's all a wash, and there will always be people that will want to play which node's profitable game. So we're baking a lot of things in to make sure that obviously we want these to be lucrative for everybody involved, and we also wanted to make sure that it doesn't damage our network support.
Well, I think it's funny to say that Titan will reduce this to dust for just Stratus servers. We added 9 servers. People
Yeah,
more
I know.
servers.
What the hell? I mean, seriously, are you serious?
So you have to wait 18 longer minutes.
Yeah, and you can always adjust the number of maximum deposit on these nodes. So, we're going to watch the economic model play out. We're going to watch the APY play out. Somebody asked about, is the APY sustainable? Well, you know what? We're going to find out, because this is a beta piece. And, I can tell you, I definitely see that APY going down at some particular point in time to a respectable level, and whatever the market would dictate, and for the folks that are poo-pooing and saying, the Stratus nodes are going to go to dust, we're adding literally nine nodes in our first go around, our first week, another 9, and then we're capping out at a particular number that we have that we're not going to add anymore. But there's bigger micro economic models in there as well. I mean, if we decide that, okay, 10,000 is too much for a base, now we're going to lower that down to 500. And now you can participate with 500, and we can kind of cap that and help out that economic model. So we have tools that are in our toolbox that we can use if we need to use those.
And then apart from the node rewards, Dan, it's also about privacy, right? I mean, go to CoinMetro, you got to do KYC, right? So basically, if you run the Flux stake on Titan, it's all about privacy as well. So that's one aspect too.
Yep. And that's a big thing. And because it is built around the blockchain, and it'll eventually get to the point where it's completely on chain, that our ultimate goal is to be hands off of it, a year from now or whatever. So it's just a process. So,
yep. One more thing I wanted to jump on. People are saying things about depositing their Flux, right? Not your piece. We will be supporting all future PA snapshots that happen on the newer chains. So you don't have to worry about, withdrawing your funds before the snapshot takes place, anything like that. We're going to take care of that for you. So when that time comes, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, and I think we have to mention too that the individuals running these nodes are community members. So we've started to vet community members, and I see people in there making comments about bare metal. They offered bare metal. You're not overlooked. You're just early.
Yeah, we're in beta, right?
We're literally in beta. I don't see us pulling the cover off of this thing for another 4 or 5 months. You know what I mean? Beyond beta. So, and at that point in time, we will start to take community members who want to participate absolutely into. I mean, our ultimate goal is to get a pool of these these folks, just like pool operators and other individuals that are, working in crypto, you know what I mean, is if you want to stand one up and you want to participate, you can do that. So, I think
you can do it, but there's a bit of you have other people depending on your server at that point, right? So
yeah, you can't be
we
half,
have a little bit of requirements too.
Yeah, it can't be half baked. You're gonna have to meet requirements. And by the way, if you start running these nodes and you end up struggling with it, you can easily be taken out of it as well, because these are people's resources. These are their funds. So if you have a lot of downtime or things like that, there's going to be benchmark.
We want to make sure that everyone's earning exactly what we're saying that they're earning.
Yep. Yeah, and I think it's super important because we have benchmarks on our nodes, not unusual. So why wouldn't we? Why would we do it any different on on our shared node?
Exactly.
We just wouldn't. It wouldn't make sense. Okay, so Ollie, you gonna snag some other questions and pop them up
there's
there?
one question. Let me put on the screen here. So it says, once staking an amount, can you stake more, even if it's lower than 50 for the second time?
No, the limit's going to be 50 per stake. Yes, you can stake more, but it's going to have to be 50 or more. When you do a second stake, it will just add it to your stake list. So you'll see both, and both will be earning you a certain percentage.
Okay. Let me see if I can grab a few more.
Let's do some questions.
Yeah.
All right. There's, I think we already answered this one. So you said 9 basically for now, right? So is there a possibility that can go up more than 9?
It's gonna be 9 a week essentially. So 9, I think those 9 will fill up pretty quickly, and then the next 9 we'll kind of let it chill and see what happens. But
yeah,
but we're gonna make no mistake. We're gonna take it slow, and if we have to stop, we have to stop to make sure that we're gauging, the impacts to everything overall. So, our goal, anyone that knows the Flux project overall, is that we take our time and we make sure that we do things right. And a lot of times, people want to move faster than what we're able to handle, and that's not going to be the case this time. We're going to take our time and we're going to do it right. So
yeah,
we may get to a point where we say, yeah, we're going to bump that number to 10, and then maybe we'll bump it to 20. And as the price of Flux goes back up, we're in a full, all out a bull market, and people want to be in and exposed to these things, obviously it becomes less of a concern around, cost.
A little bit more info on that, Dan. So to allow people to start earning as quickly as possible, we pre-stood up 9 nodes using 360,000 Flux, okay? So that in the first week, we could take on up to 360,000 Flux in deposits, spinning up an additional 9 nodes. This will allow people, as soon as that 30 confirmations hit, to start earning, even if the Flux that they've deposited hasn't spun up a node yet. We are pre-paying them in rewards, knowing that we're going to be spinning up 9 more nodes in the first week. So we started with 9, and that was with non-deposited Flux that was donated by the foundation. And then we're going to try to spin up 9 more in the first week. So hopefully we will have 18 nodes. Of course, this depends on the amount of deposits that we get into the Titan platform. So if we get a 360,000 Flux deposited from all the users, you'll see 18 nodes at the end of the week.
All right. So next question is, what does the staking do other than earning more Flux?
Great question. For you are earning Flux. You get the satisfaction as well as supporting the network. We are spinning up actual hardware. We are running actual Flux nodes in the background. So your Flux is actually sustaining those nodes, which are running applications on the chain. They're supporting other cryptocurrencies. They're building our network and making it stronger. Literally, you are doing everything for the network that you think Flux is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing to note is the fact that some of this infrastructure is going to be deployed on Lumen, so that we can start to bridge the Web 2, Web 3. scenario where we can engage folks that have already got Web 2 based infrastructure, and they want to see how it works. It acts as almost like a marketing and PR piece too as well, to show that you can be in both worlds and still participate in Web 3. So, and I think that's seriously important as we continue to kind of iterate and grow.
Agreed.
All right. So next question is, what determines the APR?
Great question, Davey. Do you still have your screen up?
I do not, and
Okay,
I don't have the internet to do it at the moment. It seems.
I'll just read it here. It's a little different. It's based on math, so I'm just going to read what we have on the website. It is the APR is calculated using the basic formula. This is the formula: 22.5 flux per block times the number of blocks per day, which is 720 on average, times 365, which is the number of days in the year, divided by, this is the variable, the number of Stratus nodes on the network, times 40,000, which is the collateral of Flux needed to spin up a Stratus node. So if there's a lot of Stratus nodes that get added, that APR will decrease slightly, but we're not going to be spinning up thousands and thousands of nodes. We're not sure how many nodes we're going to spin up, but it will be a slow iteration, slowly progressing, and we'll figure that out. And then as the node numbers come down, that APR will increase as well. So that's kind of how that's determined.
Again, guys, it's super iterative. You know what I mean? We're playing it very slow. If we were in a poker game, we'd be betting the flop right now and watching as things again. It could change. The next couple things could change, and we need to be ready for that. And we know that, and we have a really good team to adjust to that. So we want to make sure 100%. I know there's people asking about emergency unlocks and stuff like that. We can address that then as well. But we're making sure that this is as decentralized as humanly possible for now, and continue to keep working on building that out.
All right. So next question is, can you use multiple ZLID to stake more than 20K?
There's always people that are going to try to flex this stuff. I would say we're going to have to figure out a way that I mean, right now you're going to have to go in the honor system essentially, because we don't have a way baked in yet to tell that.
If you wait 1 week or 4 days, we're going to move that up to 40K. So you can. Honestly, you could do that. That is a way around it. However, it's going to be kind of annoying because you're going to have to log back into Titan using 2 different Zell IDs, and you're going to have to manage your stakes using 2 different logins, which is kind of annoying. So if you're willing to wait. If you're not,
by all means, go for it.
Yeah. By all means, yeah, exactly. We're not going to stop you.
Okay, another question.
Yeah, so I think this brought up. So will you guys incorporate emergency unlock stake rule? You just kind of mentioned that Dan earlier.
No.
At the current moment, no, not at all. This isn't even on our forecast.
Yeah. When you're in, guys. I mean,
we're running nodes on these collaterals and those time frames that we've selected: 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Take those into account based on how you think things are going to go for you personally over that time frame. And again, don't invest more than you would potentially need in an emergency. Right? Always have an emergency fund on the side. I think that's always a good thing to have. So
here, I'm going to help you. We will not unlock anything from these nodes. So invest appropriately. If I mean, we've seen, crazy stuff happen. The team that will not be responsible to bail your ass out if there's an emergency unlock. If the market dumps and you need to get your asset back and you want to do it, this is not like running a node. You run a node, you can tune it down as fast as you tuned it up. These things are locked and they're going to stay on there. These nodes are bedrock. These are bedrock of the network, and they will not go away. So there's nothing in the plans, not even on the radar to have that. So just invest appropriately. Don't say we didn't tell you. You got to make sure you invest correctly.
When you set up a node, yes, you can take out that collateral at any given time, but you're setting it up for a long term as well. So it's not like we're inventing
Well,
something new here.
yes and no, because people play the game where, when it's lucrative,
True.
the price is going up, they tune the node up, and then when the price dips down, they turn it back off again. And then what you have is these ebbs and flows within the network. Titan is going to help really kind of solidify like a base layer that doesn't go away. So, and that's important. We need to make sure that we have that base layer as we scale. This is another soft scaling solution, really, that we came up with. So, if you're going into it, know that that's what you're in. You're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. If you've got 50 Flux and you're putting it in, and Flux goes to $20 a Flux, can't help you, bro. That's what it is. You're going to be. It's going to be based on the calculation that Jeremy just said. So, yeah, I mean that's a big one. Ollie, there was a question that popped up about the airdropped assets or the distro like.
Yep, I did mention that. I'll mention it again. We will support any additional airdrops.
No, not the
Oh, he's
parallel.
talking about the KD and the dog. Is that what you're talking about?
That. So the way it is there has to be a profit for these node owners to continue to deploy these nodes and run them, because they're essentially have to pay for the resources. So those assets will probably more than likely be assumed by the node operator / the foundation / the people, and maybe even back down to the node the tier class. We don't know yet. The way that it's structured right now is it would just be put into queue, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with it down the road. So don't expect them. But our goal is to always to make sure that you're incentivized as much as humanly possible. If you want to expect those distribution assets, the docs of the world, the mocks of the world, KD bets, those type of projects, run your own damn node. Run those nodes, because then you're guaranteed to get whatever it is that's dropped to you. Okay, so
yeah,
this is a mathematical equation. It has to be profitable for the people that are investing. It has to be profitable for the people that are running the infrastructure, right? So that's gonna be probably very flexible. We'll go back and forth with that, as we go.
Right. So I think Jeremy did mention about that snapshot, right? But
Snapshots, snapshots.
Yeah, snapshots, you're good.
You're good.
Right.
You'll expect the same quantity as if you kept it and waited. We will be making sure that that's all correct when those snapshots go out. So no need to worry. You don't need to withdraw from Titan after you're expired or anything. We'll take care of that for you, and everyone won't lose a single Flux on that. Everything's going to get to the right place.
And would that be an instant reimbursement as well once available, Jeremy? The distribution.
What do you mean?
Time. Like for example, if it's say 25th July, right? We can all, whoever running nodes today.
Oh, gotcha. So luckily for us, for the two next chains that we have taken a snapshot for and that we're dropping, those have already been snapshot back to the addresses that they had before they would have sent it into Titan. So you'd use the same way that you would to redeem those snapshot rewards using your Zell ID and Zell Core, and you'll see it there. We're talking about anything after AVAX and Cosmos. That snapshot hasn't been taken yet, right? So anything new, your Flux will be in Titan. So we will go through all of the deposits and make sure that everyone is going to get the correct amount on their actual address, so they can go to Zellcore and redeem those assets correctly without having to do anything with Titan at all. That answer your question?
Yeah, that's good. It's good, Jeremy. I'm going to pipe in again because, I like to start shit. So no, there are maximalists in the chat that are talking about, centralization and pieces like that. Look, man, Flux allows you to have the option to be completely decentralized, completely autonomous. Go run a node. This isn't for everyone. Again, I'll say it again. It says this is not for everyone. This addresses a glaring issue that we had with the network, and that was the fact we did not want the control of this network falling into the hands of a few centralized exchanges that were going to absolutely manipulate it all over the place. So this is our first step to fix that problem. And honestly, I applaud the team. Every single one of these guys, I applaud the team because each one of us have the same ethos in the sense that we want to see everything decentralized. Everything. We want nothing to do with it. This is our first iteration of the process, and pretty damn good one too, by the way. So, I get the maximalists out there that are, poo-pooing about not your keys, not your crypto. You're fucking right.
Yeah.
And if you want to do it that way, then you have the right to do it that way. This is much better than the alternative. And the alternative is to allow exchange where you have no control. You have you don't know what they're using your Flux for or how much they're accumulating or Okay. This is a first iteration of that solution.
Having options makes the decentralized network even better because not everyone wants to or can run their own node.
Yeah.
Well, you saw mine, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it makes it super respectful. If I have 50 Flux and I know that I want to make some APY on that, I want to invest it. Where do I want to go? Do I want to go to a centralized exchange, or do I want to do it directly out of my Zelcore that's benefiting the network through proof of useful staking? I'm going to do it this way because this way makes sense to me. So, like I said, it's an iterative process, guys, and we're every single day they're working to make it better than the day before. So,
yeah, so there are a couple of questions more on the APR and APY. I think we have a little bit higher APY compared to the other centralized.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if it's going to stay there. So to put the asterisk out there, we're not guaranteeing percentages of anything, right? This can be variable. I mean, I have a number in my head where I think we'll settle into, and it's much less than the current one because obviously it just got deployed. So
is there any plans to maybe change the minimum Flux in future?
We can change that at any time. During the beta, we just set 50 to see how that works. Also, 50 kind of seems like the minimum. After you've invested 3 months, we want to make sure that you have some balance. So if you deposit less, let's say you deposit like 1 Flux, if we allowed that, it would take an extremely long time to accumulate enough to redeem. So 50 is what we're set to right now. Could we change it? Yes. Will we? Who knows?
Yep.
All right. So next question is, who will pay for the hardware? Are you liquidating that stake Flux to buy hardware?
No, the hardware is ran by the community. So, I mean, you have to have the hardware to participate in being a node hoster. So we don't pay shit for it other than the fact they'll get a higher rate of the reward for running the infrastructure.
All right. So next one is, so miners contribute 50% of their earnings to the nodes. What does the nodes contribute to miners?
Well, you can't think of it that way. That's the way that this is structured. Out of the gate, we've been very transparent that this is the way it was all going down ever since we launched deterministic nodes.
I mean, if you think about it in a very basic way, the nodes allow the network to be built upon by decentralized applications and everything like that. And for example, KDA, right? Those get distributed to the nodes, and then by adding applications on, that should make Flux a more utilized token, and hopefully, increase the price. Right? Everyone's mining coins because the price increases and they can make money.
And by the way, didn't we just announce that part of the rewards from Titan nodes are going to go back to the miners again? So, I mean, we look at both. We don't have favorite children. Both sides of the project are our favorite children. We love our miners and we love our node ops. So we try to make it as equal as humanly possible. Right now, the way it stands is it's probably leveraged a little bit more favorably toward the nodes because they're going to start to get these parallel distributions. But as proof of useful work comes into play, it isn't going to matter. It's all going to be leveled across the board. The miners are going to be making additional income and revenue as they mine. If they provide compute resources, and the node operators, they've already been doing it for, several years.
All right. So next question is, okay. So say I stake 5,000 Flux on a Titan node for 12 months. How easy it is to either take some of the staking out or increase the staking period again? So I was talking about the process.
So you
Great
can't take out
question.
the staking itself, and you cannot increase the period itself. You can only restake, so that automatic restake happens. What you can get out is the rewards. So every time you get rewards, you'll see that build up on the dashboard, and you can redeem those at any given time.
Actually, Davey, if they turn off auto reinvesting,
They can
let's say
choose.
your
They can
5K
choose, yeah.
stake expired, you can reinvest that manually and click a different period of time. So let's say you initially did it for 12 months and that 12 months is over. And now you're like, you know what? I want to start doing this on a 3-month basis. You can go in and say, I want to restake this 5,000. It might be a little bit more based on your rewards. Maybe it's 5,000, a couple hundred, 5,500 now. I want to restake that. And then you'll be able to see 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and you can reselect your period and it will auto lock again at that period that you would choose.
That was good, Jeremy. Let me jump in. I got another one that's been festering here that I want to address. So people are still confused who runs these nodes. These nodes are ran by community members. These are individuals in the community who are decentralized systems administrators already, and they basically have asked to run these nodes themselves on their own infrastructure. They can also be deployed on VPSs. They can also, so Lumen could be one, a VPS provider could be one. Bare metal is preference, always preferred. But if somebody has a couple VPSs they've set up and they want to run, then and they apply and they're accepted, then great. I mean, when we get to the point, we'll eventually get to the point where you don't have to ask for permission for any of it. If you want to run a node and you want it to be a Titan node, you literally stand it up, say Titan node, and then it automatically puts in, hey, this Titan node's available for everybody to populate, and boom, there you go. So, but again, iterative process, guys. This is the first beta of something that's never been done before. Ever in the history of blockchain has this ever been done before. So this is something unique. It's something new. It fixes a problem, and it's very iterative. All right, 2 more questions, Ollie. I think then we got to wrap it up. And then I think what we'll do is, if you guys are game for it, let's schedule another AMA, maybe the weekend, and we'll get all AMA questions for Titan, because it seems like it's fairly popular.
All right. So this question is, when the hardware is run by the community, who is doing the software admin?
The individual that's deployed the server. So the decentralized systems administrator. I'm Dan. I have a node. I stood up a Stratus node. I want it to be a Titan node. I was accepted as a provider, and now it's my turn to run my Titan node. And then it populates with the individuals who are staking their Flux. Now it's my job and my duty to keep that node up and running and functioning. And if I don't, then I'll be removed from the providers list.
All right. So next question is, I've got the hardware on a Stratus node, but don't have the Flux. Will I be able to stand up a Titan Stratus node?
If you pass our tests, right now we don't have this option. We're in beta. We're going to try to build out this process where if you have hardware, you can come to us, pitch your hardware. We'll run some tests on it. And if you pass those tests, you can be chosen to spin up a Stratus node. Yes, that's a possibility. And that's the goal.
Tech Doofus. God, I love that name. Tech Doofus. Basically, the ultimate goal is to get anybody that wants to do that be able to participate in that, but that's way down the road. So I mean, you're talking full release candidate, and probably 3 versions from now. But yeah, down the road.
All right. So I have one question, Dan. Is not Titan, but it's about the Flux Legacy Titan watches. I think, let me put that on.
Oh, we can't do those now, but all right, go ahead.
So they're just asking about the confirmation email.
Access to the beta for upcoming features in the new beta channel. Yes, we will do that. The Titan watches, we had some people that signed up but didn't pay, so there's going to be a few that are going to be offered back up, much to the happiness of several people that were waiting to reorder. We'll throw something out about that later this week, probably into the weekend. But yeah, and we're going to announce some really cool things that are coming for that. I mean, we want to make sure that those folks that are participating in that whole little project are rewarded well. So you'll get a confirmation email soon once the sales actually been 100% complete. We got a lot of people that said, please don't give my watch away, I'm going to pay, and then we're waiting for them to pay. I'm trying to be nice guy Dan for a change instead of being hard ass Dan.
All right, so let's take this last question. Would you able to see your Titan dashboard via Zelco in the future? Would this be when mainnet is launched, do you think?
Where's Vulture? Yes, I would love to see this. Vulture's a perfect candidate to do this, and he would love to see it as well. So I think you could absolutely see like a Titan app that's in Zelcore that you could see what Titan's doing. I think that's super important. The other thing is we want to make sure that people see that Titan nodes being deployed in a decentralized manner. So you'll be able to see where we can individually pick these nodes and deploy them to where we need the most support. So I think that's a great idea, and I think it's an idea that we definitely want to put in our queue.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, this is being launched on mainnet. Not sure what you meant by mainnet, but current beta is live on Flux mainnet already, so you don't have to worry about that.
All right, Dan, I think you're talking.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. And so this is our promise to you guys. Same team is going to do another AMA. And so if you have questions that didn't get answered, we want to answer those questions. So just drop them in the AMA section on Discord, and we'll put a queue together, and we'll do another hour with nothing but AMA. And it doesn't necessarily have to pertain to Titan. If you have another question, we'll try to segment a piece of that out, and we'll address other questions as well. But before we close, I just want to say none of this would have been possible without the support of this community. And, we know that as we develop out this tech, everybody wants it done today, and everybody wants it to be, fully baked. Sometimes you have to take it slow, guys. And Titan is going to go slow. We thank the community for being patient. We thank them for being understanding and also trusting the project to continue to keep building these pieces out, because we're all in this together. Crypto has gotten fucking rocked recently. And we've seen, we've seen a lot of crazy shit. Our goal is to make sure that crazy shit doesn't happen ever again. So our goal is to make sure that people can do this in a very decentralized manner and protect their assets. So
also, thanks for being critical. I mean, it's good that we don't want everyone to agree. We want the hard questions to come through, and it's good because everyone needs to know that some people don't agree with. So thank you for all of your opinions, positive, negative.
And if you've got some feedback, positive or negative, drop it in our Discord, and we'll love to talk about it. I mean, we're not. It's not FUD. It's not FUD if it's a question. It's we don't like people coming in just shitting all over the project. It's no benefit to anyone, right? But if you have a logical question and you want a logical answer, we're more than willing. You're probably going to get Jeremy or myself or Davey or Ollie or one of the guys that are going to work with you, so you get comfortable with whatever it is that your question is. But make it productive, not destructive. Make it productive, not destructive. So come in and help us with this beta. Help ask questions. Let us learn from you as much as you're learning from us. Okay? Thank you, guys. And thanks all the community. Ollie, thank you. Davey, thank you. Jeremy, you guys kick ass. The team kicks ass. Thanks again, guys. And we'll be have another one of these real soon.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Bye.
See you, everyone.